the vampire was not always the pale, sophisticated aristocrat we imagine him to be today. His origins are bathed in seduction, blasphemy, and an insatiable need for revenge. Revenge satisfied only by blood. This idea of a blood-drinking entity is present in almost every culture on Earth, describing not only man's need for myths, but cementing the significance of blood even thousands of years before it was fully understood. Even in ancient times, the origins of the vampire were seen in Lilitu of Babylon, the Dybbuk of early Hebrew, the Lamii of Greece, and the Rakshasa of India. In the East, vampiric creatures were usually associated with demons and those who disobeyed the laws of religion. The Rakshasa serve as a prime example of such early vampires, and their most undying quality, a lust for blood. Whether they were the beautiful temptresses who haunted graveyards or the hideous fanged guiles, these terrible injurers would seek out humans to attack, torment, seduce, and most of all, to drink their blood. The Hindu Dark Mother, Kali, was said to control these lowly demons, as she was the goddess of death. She was said to subsist alone on human flesh and blood, to possess 4 arms, 2 raised in blessing, 2 in violence. She wore upon her a necklace made of human skulls, and a bodice made from their heads. Her own head and breast were covered in the most coveted of sacrifices, human blood. Though his essence emerged much earlier, it was in the 19th century that the vampire was to become forever imprinted into culture and made into the myth we know today. Historian Clyde Leatherdale wrote, "It would take a century for the transformation to be complete, but the folkloric vampire of Central and Eastern Europe eventually metamorphosed into the British-built vampire of Romantic literature." In 1819, author John Polidori wrote The Vampire, a Tale, and was the first to bring the vampire into widespread English literature. Like the vampire we know today, Polidori's Lord Ruthven feasted on the blood of young maidens, and was brought to life again by moonlight. It was in 1897, however, that the most famous, perhaps the epitome of vampires, Bram Stoker's Dracula, was published. The Count was said to come from the land of vampires, Romania, in the ruinous province of Transylvania. Stoker had never been to Romania himself, but the vampire myth was so great there, it had reached even he in Ireland. His own Irish countryside was full of vampiric legends and a very bloody history as well. All of this added to the fanged and ferocious character, Dracula, who would stop at nothing for the blood he craved. Since the 19th century, countless vampire books, movies, poems, and art have been made, all of them linked inauspiciously by the blood that has kept this creature alive for so very many centuries. Like the humans who rely on it to live, the vampires rely on this precious fluid to remain undead for eternity.